All right, so here are the 7 supplements that I would recommend. Now, before I get into this, I always want to say that I try to get all of the things that I need through whole foods, right? I want to get all the minerals, all of the vitamins, all of the necessary protein, carbs, and fats from the foods that I eat on a daily basis. And I try to do that. But there are times when I'm not getting what I need. So I resort to a lot of these things. Now, all of these things are proven through research to have tremendous benefit and impact on the body. Now, most of the time you won't hear doctors tell you about this because they're not trained in nutrition. Now, food is medicine, so let's let food be thy medicine. When we extract the powerful properties from food and put them into supplement, they can have tremendous impact on our lives. Now, first one, you would know turmeric, right? Turmeric. Everybody says tomato, tomato, right? However you want to say that, turmeric. There is a powerful property called curcumin in turmeric. Now, I try to eat fresh turmeric all the time. I put it in my shake, and I always make sure to get organic turmeric because we want to make sure we're getting healing properties. Now, it's saturated in pesticides that might, do the opposite of what we're looking for. So try to get organic turmeric if you can. There's a stark difference. It's a bright orange, and it's not shriveled up. And if you bite into it, it will taste good, or it won't taste amazing, but it'll taste better than the pesticide one, which will taste like chemicals and it will literally sting your tongue. Okay, so there's a lot of products out there. We'll recommend some in the links about curcumin. You can get it in a condensed form. You take pills. It depends on, they recommend 1,000 milligrams, 1,500 milligrams 3 times a day. And, there's different variations that you can take of it. But like I said, this has been studied substantially, and it has had tremendous impact on not only inflammation, but dealing with brain damage, gut function, so the whole body, right? It helps tremendously. This has been known for thousands of centuries in India. They actually rub it on their whole body. Omega-3. Now, most of the people should be taking in a certain amount of omega-3s. We used to get it all the time through a lot of fish, fatty fish. Typically, people's intake of fatty fish has gone down. There are also precautions because of the amount of mercury and chemicals in the fish nowadays. So a quality omega-3 fatty acid supplement will help joints. We see this on a regular basis when our clients come in, they take it, and then all of a sudden their joints feel better right away. It's normal. It helps brain function, it helps joint function, it helps gut function. So now krill oil is a powerful one that you can take. Try to get organic. Again, I'll think of some and I'll recommend them down below. We'll put links that will allow you to choose which ones would be best. The next thing, essential oils. Now, I heard people talk about essential oils for a while, and I never really thought much of it. Again, at the time, I didn't really have any issues. Now, when I had systemic inflammation, I started to deal with gut issues, which caused inflammation in my hip and my backs. And as you already know, I had back pain problems since I was 15 years old from playing basketball. I have found essential oils to be one of the best medicinal things out there. And there's so many of them. I can go into a wide range of them, but this is specific for you and your inflammation. Now, frankincense, right? We know of frankincense from the Bible. It was one of the gifts brought to Jesus. So there's a reason why that's in there. This thing is amazing. It helps with nerve function. It helps actually to repair nerve function. It helps, again, get your gastrointestinal juices flowing, so it helps with digestion. I mean, this thing helps with relaxation. Just the smell of it lowers the stress in my body. So, and this has also been researched as well. Digest Zen. The reason why I put this in here is because it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties to it. One of the main things being ginger, right? So it has gingerol, which is a close cousin to turmeric, and it has anti-inflammatory properties. And ginger itself, if we're talking about foods, is highly inflammatory. It's super medicinal, and the property has an COX-2 inhibitor, which is one of the things that they put in. I think it's aspirin or Advil, one of those, right? It's one of the main properties. So this has a natural pain relieving property to it, right? It has a mix. Digestion has a mix of things, and the reason why I always have Digestive is because our immune system and our inflammation is 100 or 80% is in our gut. So when we fix our gut, a lot of times we fix the inflammation problems that are systemic in our body that can cause back pain. Now, just reducing inflammation in the body will help your back pain. All right, it will reduce your back pain, which leads me to the next thing, digestive enzymes. A lot of the food we're consuming these days is hard to break down because we are not producing the acids that we need to break down the food, as well as there have been modifications to the food. So, for example, the increase in gluten in some of the foods that we're eating, gluten has a high affinity for the collagen that supports your joints, and it attacks those joints, and it can cause inflammation, and it does cause directly back pain. Now, I know this for a fact. When I eat gluten, my hips and my back become inflamed and I deal with more pain. So, digestive enzymes before and after you eat will reduce inflammation. It'll help digest the food that you're eating and process it through the body so that you're not dealing with the systemic inflammation that's caused by gluten intake or dairy. Dairy is another inflammatory, especially processed dairy, inflammatory product, as well as additives, preservatives, pesticides. So try to stay away from them. Canned foods, stuff like that. You want fresh, whole foods as best as possible. Now the next one, we call this the miracle mineral, magnesium. Absolutely essential for our body, right? It has over 800 enzyme activations in the body. So it helps with serotonin release. So that's going to help with sleep patterns. It's going to help with digesting and breaking down fat, carbs, proteins, etc. It is just, I can go on and on and on. I've read books on this. There's Dr. Dean, who wrote and has studied for 35 years about magnesium. Now, not all magnesiums are created equal, right? A lot of them don't get absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract. For example, when you do a colonoscopy, they give you, I think it's magnesium citrate to help flush out everything from your body. So it's a flusher, it flushes things out. So determining what magnesium is good for you. You might notice that there's a product called Calm. It helps to go, you take it before bed. It helps to calm and relax the body. Magnesium relaxes the muscles. Calcium helps to contract the muscles. Magnesium is the most depleted mineral out of everybody today. For some reason, they keep giving people calcium. Calcium is the highest intake in the US today out of any place in the world, and we have the highest level of osteoporosis. You think there's something going on there? Well, arterial sclerosis, which is the clogging of the arteries, is high calcium intake. So we don't need more calcium, we need more magnesium. And it helps balance out the cells so that you're absorbing the calcium that you need. This is very, very important. I always recommend picoionized magnesium. It's a liquid form. It gets absorbed into the body. But we'll also recommend some down below because there's different types and amounts that you can take. This stuff flies off our shelf at my fitness facility. I don't even have to sell it. The benefits speak for itself. If you're a person that gets muscle cramps a lot, magnesium. Now we're talking about tightness in the back. So directly magnesium will relax your body, relax your muscles, give you more energy. It helps with mitochondria in the cells, which produces energy. So again, I can go on and on and on magnesium. Oregano oil. Now I've thought about including this in essential oils, but this is, different. It is an essential oil, but it's in a different category from me. Now, oregano oil has so many medicinal properties. I can go on and on and on this as well. It's antibacterial, it's antifungal, it's more powerful than any of the antibiotics that they can give you for any respiratory infections, right? Or sinus infections, right? And it's not going to be detrimental to your body. Now, it will, from what I've read in the research, it can kill some of the healthy bacteria as well, just like antibiotics, but it's not, and that's to be debated as well. But this has reduced inflammation. It helps with reduction in inflammation. It also stimulates the immune system. Wow. Okay. This is known to kill parasites that you have in the body. Those parasites could be causing inflammation, right? It also could be causing an allergic reaction. So you can take medicinal doses of this. You can also take just regular doses. Medicinal would be like 10 drops. I take what's called Mountain of Joy oregano oil. I find that to be the best. It's diluted. I should always warn, it should always be diluted whenever you take a lot of these essential oils. Those are the oils that help carry the nutrients to the rest of the body. So for example, on these ones, I actually put them coconut oil in my hand, which is another powerful supplement. Then I put a couple drops of these on the coconut oil, and then I rub them on my feet. Oregano oil, I can do that too as well, but I actually put drops in my mouth with water and I swallow it, or I put it under my tongue, just a couple to let it absorb. So I've used oregano oil for my son, just a very, very little amount when he gets sick, and right away he'll be crying inconsolably. Like when he was under 1 year old, he would cry inconsolably because he was sick. I rub a little bit on his feet, he relaxes a little bit right away, his nervous system relaxes, and he recovered and healed much quicker than what I would have expected based on how he was at that point in time. Next one, vitamin D. And these are synergistic. Magnesium, vitamin D, they work together with each other. This helps reduce inflammation in the body. It's also something that we used to get a lot of from the sun when we were outdoors many times. Nowadays, most people are not getting it. There's also an area where or an idea that people are scared of the sun because of the radiation it can cause. Well, there's a balance, right? We need the vitamin D, we need the nutrients from the sun to keep our body healthy. So if we're slathering on sunscreen, chemical sunscreen, and actually there's been studies that show the chemicals in the sunscreen are actually more responsible for causing some of the cancers than the sun. So I want you to think about that. Then, we need that nutrients from the sun. What I use is coconut oil. I put that on my skin when I go out into the sun, and I didn't put coconut oil here, but it's a powerful anti-inflammatory, antifungal as well. Just a scoop of that in the morning helps the process. So I didn't put that in here. I could have made a list of probably 10 to 15 items. I wanted to keep the 7 most powerful. Vitamin D liquid form is usually the best, but again, we want to get it from good sources. So going outside, like I was saying, coconut oil on my skin, I buy a little bit of zinc and I mix that with the coconut oil. Zinc is a natural sunblock, and then I have a natural sunblock. But if you can't get the sun that you need, the darker your skin is, the less vitamin D you're getting if you're not out in the sun. So for African Americans, they need more vitamin D. It doesn't get absorbed as much because of the melanin. So